survived the most famous serial killer since Jack the Ripper. The 5-year anniversary's coming up. I think a lot of people would really like to hear from you after all this time. Want to know what it's like to be in the presence of that kind of evil. What goes through your brain when he's close enough to you. You feel his breath.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel and time for another episode of Luke's Reviews. On today's video, horror movie season continues to be in full swing, and this time round we're going to take a look at a bloody third chapter in a blossoming cult series that has gained a heck of a lot of infamy in the recent years. This is my review of Terrifier 3. Following 5 years on after the events of Terrifier 2, Art the Clown has been reborn, and after a spell of hibernation, is ready to unleash hell on the residents of Miles County once again. The two survivors of the last film, Sienna and her brother Jonathan, are still recovering from those events, and have to prepare themselves when Art's killing spree returns in all of its festive grisliness. The first Terrifier was this underground slasher that never really landed on many people's radars, bar the deep-diving horror enthusiasts. It was shot for a tiny $35,000, and if I'm being completely honest, isn't anything to write home about. 80 minutes of a constant cat-and-mouse game, and a cheap-looking one at that. But what stood out most was the unsettling Art the Clown, who was equally terrifying as he was darkly comic. Oh yeah, and also the ridiculously over-the-top kills boasting a level of violence and sadism that would even make Jigsaw blush. When Terrifier 2 came out, about 5 years later, that's when wider audiences' ears were beginning to prick up. I remember seeing reactions to this film saying that it was the most disgusting horror movie that had ever been made. There were reports of people passing out, throwing up, having seizures. It was that intense. Now, admittedly, taking that concept and stretching it to a 2.5-hour movie sounded preposterous. And it kind of was. Terrifier 2's runtime is obscenely long. It does not earn that length whatsoever. That being said, it is far improved upon its predecessor. There's an actual story to follow, the characters are interesting, the kills are stomach-churningly gross. Look, it isn't exactly high-caliber levels of filmmaking, but it did certainly elevate Art the Clown to a horror icon. And now, a third Terrifier has hit cinemas, but unfortunately this one seems to have taken a small step backwards. Setting Terrifier 3 at Christmas could have made for a very inventive choice, but it doesn't really run with that theme. I mean, we see Art skip around in a Santa costume and he uses intestines as tinsel at one point, but there could have been so much more made with this setting. Saying that though, Art the Clown still remains the star of the show. And that is coming from someone who has a fear of clowns. Whenever he is on screen, your back automatically goes up because you know there's no positive outcome with him around. David Howard Thornton has a fantastic screen presence and has helped transform this character into a modern-day Freddy Krueger. For all of you gore fiends out there, Terrifier 3 does deliver on the shocking brutality that you have come to expect with these films. Kills that will have you squirming in your seat and visceral images that you cannot remove from your brain no matter how much bleach you try to use. The prosthetic work really is remarkable, towing a very fine line between being realistic and cartoonish. You know it's not real, but that doesn't detract from when a clown decides to tear a man's face apart and break open his skull. That shit's fucking horrifying. Where Terrifier 3 comes apart, though, is in its story. You see, Terrifier 2 laid a lot of groundwork for a larger mythology. How does Sienna have powers? What's up with her dad? And how was he connected to all of this? And where does Art fit in? What is his purpose to this story? And Terrifier 2 chose to leave it open-ended for a sequel to come in and provide the answers. Unfortunately though, so does Terrifier 3. Damien Leone's screenplay with this chapter did feel like filler. I appreciate the attempt to expand this world, sowing seeds for the larger story at play, but I'm still left with the same questions that I had after the second movie, and now I'm left with even more having originated from this one. The script does a really poor job at explaining things to its audience. It tends to assume that the audience is aware of something, even though that thing may never have even been brought up in the film prior to that point. The dynamic between Sienna and Jonathan, it just simply wasn't as strong as it was in the second film, plus Sienna is saddled with this whole final girl that no one believes character trope, and that tires very quickly. And whilst everyone in the audience is undeniably there to see what kind of unimaginable horrors art is going to inflict on all of these people, it soon devolves into another cat and mouse game, apart from the finale, which I'll admit refreshingly switches things up a little. The Terrifier series has never been, and will never be considered as a cinematic tour de force, because it yearns to appeal to the most sadistic side of our human nature. Suffering is its goal, and in this third film, it does deliver. Art the Clown slices and dices his way to greater levels of horror infamy, with grotesque kill after grotesque kill. As a simple highlight reel of violence, Terrifier 3 succeeds. But if we are to get a fourth movie, as the film suggests, then these scripts need to start doing some heavy lifting too. I'm going to give Terrifier 3 a 5.5 out of 10. Anyway guys, those were my thoughts on Terrifier 3. Let me know, have you had the chance to see the film yet? What did you think? Was your stomach strong enough? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And my question to you, I would like to know, who is your favourite modern day horror movie icon? I'm not going to accept Michael Myers, Jason or Freddy Krueger. I want someone new. I want someone like the Babadook, the Thing from It Follows. Give me something fresh. Who is your favourite? But that's all the time we have for today, so thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.